Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like, as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
See, the thing to watch out really is the initial, a little bit yawning there. The thing to watch out is the initial part has to be fast. But also that when you finish the technique, a very good lesson in there. Now, just now it was a little bit off. The good lesson that I mentioned. Now, you are very much in control of the movement. By too much control, therefore, you are kind of concerned about the execution. Therefore, you kind of, like really tight. Boom. Now, that was a pretty smooth movement. But now watch this now. Now, right now, I'm telling you to, really just forget about it. Just do it. Now, boom, you see? Right on the target. When you just ease the burden of your mind, you just do it. Now, watch the next two kick now. Just go boom. Right on the head, man. And good speed, too. And boom. Boy, right on the head. See, now that's James Coburn in there, kicking. You see what I mean now? You really just, let's see what, now, in this one, I want to see the initial speed and suddenness of your attack. This is just a simple attack, I think a side kick. And I just wanted you to see how, go in there. Now, you're bouncing now for the sake of bouncing. Now, boom. Now, that one's not there. Now, that one now, you have good intention, you made up your mind, you just go. Not bad, not bad. Now, notice your kick when you finish. You just let it drop down, You do not bring it back quick enough. Now, your initial was quick. If you bring it back quick, the whole kick would just look like a boom. Now, again, you see, you did not bring it back again. You move, and like boom. Good, very good suddenness. Again, you notice your leg, you did not bring it back. Now, boom. Good. Now, I really like the suddenness, of your... Maybe just a little step there, but listen, man, it passed. Boom. Now, you see, you're moving your leg, but your shoulder is a little bit... Now, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Your shoulder may be a little bit tense. The upper body and the lower body has to be united. Now, you see now, I don't think we mentioned this because your leg was... You see, you let it stay and then back. Boom. Now, see, I really, definitely, your initial move has, really improved. Really improved. Relax and move. 1, 2, 3. Now, that was good. That was good. Boom. A little bit low. Boom. Good. Now, this is the flexibility. Now, I want you to watch your left leg, with a stationary leg. Now, watch the stationary leg one out. The first one, you didn't make it. Now, the second one, you didn't. Now, watch this now. Watch it. Boom. You see how it really straightened out and you let all the weight rest on the heel and it just reach easily. Now, this is the side kick going over. Now, listen to this now. I like your very good natural feeling on the first one, though the kick was not too good. I mean, you see how it just really, very smoothly it go up there. Now, the second one, you want to control your foot position a little bit. Maybe you are too much control in there. Watch now. You know what I mean? Make it not as natural as the first one. Boom. Mm-hmm. You see now, when you do it right, man, when it touches, your left leg is all stretched out and it's just an easy type of a thing. Now, I think we are comparing. I let your leg dangle out there. I asked you to do it because, so you will get a feeling of it. Now you're going to bring it back quick now. Watch this now. And see? It was kind of a little bit off balance in the last one, but that's all right. Now you're going to go sideways. Watch now. I like the second one better than the first one. There was more directional in it. Good. Here we go. One more time. No, too low. Second one's okay. See, it come back in one straight line. Here we go again. Now watch this illustration. You gotta exaggerate the bringing of the leg back, you see? Back. Okay, watch it again now. You see, exaggerate the pulling of the leg back. Make it look much more faster and more forceful. Watch this now. I like the naturalness of your kick. Watch this now. You see, at the end, there was really the feeling there, you know?
Hey, good. Get the back jumping up and down. Hey, good. Once more. Good. That's it. That's it. One more. One more. Shake loose everything. Really tight. You weren't sure. I see you're hesitant.
It's a weight training exercise or a cardiovascular exercise. I'm interested in seeing just how much that point is a physical point and how much it's a mental point. And so that's what I did.
Good. Now, you want to kick it when it's coming to you.
I'll try it.
You let your foot jam. Drive the sucker. You're pushing.
For speed is, number one, it's a genetic factor. Yeah, certainly. There are some people who are just gifted. You know, they are fast naturally. But I think training for speed on the whole is a question of muscle memory. Speed in an individual movement is something that, I mean, we're coming down to, you know, thousandths of a second now. If you and I, or even if I and some completely untrained person were to stand side by side facing a focus pad, and when a red light blinked, both flick out a jab, I'd probably win by a couple hundredths of a second. But once you're talking about speed with repetition of movements, you know, to be able to go like that, that's muscle memory. An untrained person would be like, you know, they would falter in their movements because they haven't trained their muscles, or they haven't trained their perception as well to be able to react quickly to a variety of different circumstances.
Martial art is a combative form of the art of expressing the human. At least the way that when I teach it, all type of knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge. So therefore, they are coming in to, and ask me to teach them not so much of how to defend themselves or how to do somebody in. Rather, they want to learn to express themselves through some movement, be it anger, be it determination, or whatsoever. So in other words, what I'm saying, therefore, is that he is paying me to show him in combative form the art of expressing the human body.
Jeet Kune Do is not a style.
I cannot teach you, only help you to explore yourself, nothing more. Here it is, the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not, if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man. Now, James Coburn is a peace-loving man. I mean, he's really, really nice. I mean, super mellow and all that. I mean, you know, I mean, now he appreciates the philosophical part of it. Therefore, his understanding of it is deep. I believe I found the cause of my ignorance.
You see a Jeet Kune Do punch is very scientific and practical, especially in street situation.
Good. That one was pretty good. Pretty good. No, that was a little bit too tight. Now watch this one. Good. Now that could be used in film. Here we go.
Bar, whack. A Jeet Kune Do punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
A California university to find out the difference between a karate punch and a Jeet Kune Do punch. And the finding is that indeed the Jeet Kune Do punch is more powerful and destructive than the classical karate punch.
And when you do punch, now I'm leaning forward a little bit, hoping not to hurt any camera angle. I mean, you gotta put the whole hip into it and snap it and get all your energy in there and make this into a weapon. To me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. Don't charge in blindly.
In combat, distance is a continually shifting relationship, depending on the speed, agility, and control of both fighters.
It is a constant, rapid shifting of ground, seeking the slightest closing, which will greatly increase the chances of hitting the opponent.
2, just easily, you know what I mean? Here we go. And 1, that's good. 2, and then once you get that, you know, then you go into the kicking form, make sure that it is right, and 2, and 3. Now you are more in control now. You are more thinking of 1, 2, 3. And don't just, you know, think of 3 already. That's even better now. Now there is snap at the end in this one too. The other one, you are just, you know, doing a form and a boom and a boom and a boom. You see, all you need to do is just really snap the leg and just step and slide into it. Boom and a boom and a boom. That's right. Good. Now you're not over chasing yourself. Now you're pacing yourself right. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Good. Boom and a boom and a boom. Now, good. Now the last one, though, you were a little bit off balance, but there was definitely a doom, doom, doom in there, you know. Here we go. Kick me. Boom and a boom. Here we go. Boom. Boom. You gotta bring the leg back quick. You see, you let it dangle out there too long. Bring it back. You gotta bring it back. You gotta bring it back. And go boom and boom. You see now? You see how you just boom and then you lay it out there, but without bringing it back as soon as you can. Now watch this again now. Boom, boom, boom. You know, you should go boom, chicka back, boom, chicka back.
As far as my life is concerned, because as an actor, as a martial artist, as a human being, all these I have learned from martial art. Wish to train punching, then punch. If you wish to train kicking, then kick.
The power from my kicks and punches are bursting. I demonstrated a side kick on Ken Knutson, a powerful Goju stylist that moved so fast that he felt as though his eyeballs were still wet.
Throughout this film, we have had the complete cooperation of the Bruce Lee estate, enabling us to draw, for the first time, from Bruce Lee's private training films and videos, as well as his audio records. The film is narrated by Bruce Lee with additional input from his son.
Art include all the combative arts like karate or karate, judo, Chinese kung fu or Chinese boxing, whatever you call it. All those. You see, like Aikido, Korean, I can go on and on and on. But it's a combative form of fighting. I mean, it's not, some of them became sport, but some of them are still not. I mean, they use, for instance, kicking to the groin, jabbing fingers at the eyes and things like that.
He mixed his...
Ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do.
Dad had a circle of students that were close to him, and so they were friends of our family. And one of those men, Danny Inosanto, continued to be my teacher, so it's kind of a nice unbroken line. I actually truly feel that it's a little bit too simple to say that, because Jeet Kune Do was my father's very personal expression of the martial arts. He intended it to kill a lot of sacred cows. So I always feel a little bit silly saying that I practice Jeet Kune Do, although I certainly have been trained in it.
Yeah.
It would be more accurate to say that I practice my own interpretation of Jeet Kune Do, just as, frankly, everyone who practices Jeet Kune Do does, because that's what it was intended to be. Danny, my Sifu, always talks about teaching Jeet Kune Do concepts. In other words, teaching someone the concepts, a certain way of thinking behind the martial arts, as opposed to teaching them techniques. To me, that kind of illustrates the difference between giving someone a fish and teaching them how to fish. You know that old story, right? You can teach someone a certain block, and then they have that block themselves. They can say, see, so if that's the concept, then you could probably also do this, right? Yeah. And that's, I think, a lot of what lies behind Jeet Kune Do, and that is then dedicated to creating a really creative, free-form martial artist.
You see, actually, I do not teach, karate because I do not believe in styles anymore. I mean, I do not believe that there is such thing as like Chinese way of fighting or the Japanese way of fighting or whatever way of fighting, because unless human beings have 3 arms and 4 legs, we will have a different form of fighting. But basically, we have only 2 hands and 2 feet.
Unless we have other group of beings on Earth that are structurally different from us, then there might be a different style of fight. Now, why is that? Because we have 2 hands and 2 legs now. The important thing is how can we use it to the maximum in terms of path, well, straight line, curved line, round line.
Styles tends to not only separate man, because they have their own doctrines, and then the doctrine became the gospel truth, that you cannot change, But if you do not have styles, if you just say, well, here I am, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, We use the elbow.
You use it all.
You have to, you see, because, I mean, that is the expression of the human body. I mean, everything, not just the hand. And when you're talking about combat, well, I mean, if it is a sport, now you're talking about something else. You have regulations, you have rules. But when you're talking about fighting as it is,
rules.
With no rules.
Not real fighting.
Well, then, baby, you better train every part of your be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.